It's showtime, folks. Welcome in Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game here on this Wednesday. Hope you're having a great start to your day. He's Big Joe. I'm Chase McCabe. Dr. Crane, Nick Frazier is on the ones and twos as usual. What's up, JoJo?
What's happening, man? Tell the folks what we got coming up in a few minutes.
Brady Shea, Preds defenseman, going to join us. Obviously, we have John McClain today as well, and Coach Derek Mason at 10 o'clock. So,
got a good show for you.
Packed and stacked.
We do. Real quick, and I got to bring this up. You know, we talk about Southern hospitality all the time. I was last week, 2 weeks ago, we were going to the Omni downtown. My car stalled out on Lebanon Road by Party Foul coming down the hill. It just stalled out, and I don't know why. The comments I got from people that my car was broke down was beautiful. Now, I can't repeat them because they're all 4-letter words. People tell me to have a nice day, but in their own terms. Look, when somebody's broke down, it's not, they don't do that on purpose. They're not break down like, I'm going to ruin your day. I had at least, I'm not kidding you, and it was a sunny day. It was like 75 degrees, so the windows were down. So many people yelled and cussed at me that it was mind-numbing.
It is unbelievable.
It was amazing.
So last, I guess it was Black Friday, I think it was, my mom needed a new TV. And she didn't need it, but it was the one she had was, it was starting to go. And it's like, hey, these are good prices. Let's go get you a new TV. So I'm trying to load it into her car at Target. And, they have a spot where you can kind of pull up front, and so me and the guy that works there, and there's this dude that just pulls up, and I guess he could have gone around, and he's like, that's some entitled bull. And I'm like, excuse me? He goes, that's some entitled BS right there. And I'm like, I'm loading a TV, dude.
Yeah, right?
Chill out.
And so I popped the hood real quick. I'm like, because I don't know much about it. I'm like, maybe there's a wire loose or something. So I popped the hood. This lady pulls behind me and just starts laying on the horn. Now I've got my hazards on and the hood's up. So you're thinking, all right, poor guy's broke down. All right. She's honking. And I'm like, I've had enough. So I walked back just to say, hey, stop. And she says, oh, my God, you're the sports guy on TV. And I said, I'm not. Can you just stop honking? I'm broke down. And then she just peels off and goes around. And it was just like, this all happened in 3 minutes.
Oh, man.
So when you see somebody broke down, they don't mean to break down. And my favorite one was a guy said,
yeah, it's like, I got in the car today. You know what? I'm going to break down.
And this one guy says, you should have taken the interstate. I'm like, okay. And then what's that going to prove? My favorite one was this lady who yelled at me, thank you, blank, blank. You've totally ruined my day because I was broke down. And then a few minutes later it started. I had one person say, can I help you?
Yeah.
And I said, that's okay. Go on. So
unbelievable.
It's not Southern hospitality. It's Southern hostility. Just be nice to people when they're broke down. I get it. Just be nice. It's all we're asking.
Nobody wants to do that anymore.
No, not at all.
That's the problem.
So thank you for letting me get that off my chest. I love you guys. And so I feel better now with that.
Oh, good. I'm glad you feel better. We're here to make you feel better.
I bet we are.
That is what we're here to do. I'm trying to open our text line. I don't want to do I don't want to do two-factor all this stuff. Anyway, Predators back in action tomorrow night against the Edmonton Oilers. We say hello now to defenseman Brady Shea, his first visit to the program. Brady, how you doing?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Doing fantastic. Thanks so much for doing this. We'll kind of get into the season as a whole, but how have you enjoyed Nashville to this point?
It's been amazing. Me and my wife have gotten settled in, and as hockey off the ice, my teammates and coaches and management have all done a great job of making a smooth transition. So we've been loving it, and I think we're just going to keep liking it more and more as we live here longer.
It also seems like your team is starting to really click now. And I know the first 5 games were tough, but when you bring in guys like yourself and Steven Stamkos, Jonathan Marchessault, do people kind of lose sight that it does take a little time to kind of get to know each other along with the guys that were already here?
Yeah, I think there's obviously the 3 of us coming in. It's a new system, and that can take a little bit of time. But yeah, it was still definitely was frustrating. You never want to start your season like that, and we could have definitely played better. And but the last few games is definitely we've shown signs of how we want to play, and we've seen that it's successful. And we're just going to try to keep learning, watching video at the rink, and trying to make this transition on the ice as smooth as possible as well. So it definitely has felt better the last week or so, and hopefully we just keep getting better and better.
We're talking with Brady Shea on the People Show, the Chasing Big Joe show today. Brady, you talk about you and your wife coming to a new city and kind of getting acclimated. What's the process been like? Because, usually where you are before, you knew where your favorite restaurant was, your coffee shop. Now you got to find everything else. How's that process been like for you and your family?
It's been good. We've reached out to guys on the team. Some guys have been here for a while, know some spots that they mentioned to us. Our neighbors have done a good job of telling us places. I think everyone's been so nice, and for like restaurants and stuff to do, there's obviously a ton, and we've been trying to knock some stuff off the list. My wife's also a really good cook, so she cooks at home quite a bit, which is always nice. But I feel like my teammates and neighbors have done a great job of showing us restaurants and telling us where to go. So it's been good.
That's a good part about being in Nashville. All right, we go back to the ice. You guys started 0-5. What was the kind of the temperature in the room? Was there any panic? Was like, we know we got something good here, we got to pull it together. What was the mood like during those 5 games to start the season?
Well, it wasn't great. I mean, whenever you're losing 5 in a row, it's not a good feeling in the locker room, I can tell you that. I think after the first couple, you just want to get that first win so badly, and you feel like the floodgates will open for that. So it took a lot longer than we obviously wanted, and guys were. There was not a ton of joking around the locker room. It was pretty quiet, but that first win felt great, and then getting a feel for that too. Obviously, the locker room's a lot better now, but it wasn't a great feeling for sure.
Defenseman Brady Shea is on the line with us here on the Chasing Big Joe show. Look, and I know you'd love to win every game, by 3 or 4 goals, but there have been some instances where you guys have been behind, but you battled back. So what does that say, kind of learning that early in the season of the resilience that you all have that you might need as you go down the road?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I think that obviously that builds confidence and all that. And maintaining the lead is very important. I feel like we haven't done a ton of that. So feels like we're coming back in a lot of games, which is great. But in the long run, you want to be the team leading and holding on to the lead. So obviously, it feels great, and it feels like you have confidence on the bench that you can get back in any game. But we want to try to start playing with the lead and getting off to a few better starts here.
I've heard several guys, talk about the system and Andrew Burnett's system, and that, it's not easy. I mean, there's I guess a bit of a learning curve. So how has that been for you? The first almost month into the season, obviously at training camp, of kind of learning what Bruno expects.
Yeah, there's definitely a learning curve. I think for me personally, coming from Carolina, which was definitely more of a man-on-man system, there's just little reads in the defensive zone that are a little different for me that I feel like I've gotten better at the last couple of weeks, and it's slowly becoming more and more comfortable. But no, there's definitely a curve, and there's every guy there's different systems on every team. So every time you're a new guy on a team, you got to try to learn and